And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon. Today I'm talking with Keith Cooper. Keith, thanks for being here with me today, buddy.
Pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Keith is he and I met a few months ago, actually at an event. He works for a company called RA Marketing. They work with a lot of financial advisors to help them do event-based marketing. So that's webinars, that's seminars, live events, sometimes online events. And we want to talk today, really focusing in on the importance of focusing on getting appointments versus just getting leads. It's going to be a great conversation. So Keith, man, thanks for being here. Tell me, how in the world did you get doing what you're doing today?
Well, once upon a time, I guess, my wife is an advisor and a retirement planner, and she just needed help with marketing. And I've kind of always loved broadcast and that kind of thing. And so got into radio, started helping her with that. And then just started, she needs a landing page. She needs some integrations here. She needs automation for text and emails and booking. And I just started, honestly, just dove into the deep end, didn't know too much about what I was doing. But I learned through blunt force trauma how to do all this stuff. And, eventually years later, so I've always loved writing. And so I've been pretty good at it if I needed to write papers or things like that. So marketing copy came really just kind of natural to me, and good hooks and lines and things like that to disturb and intrigue. Right. And I tend to think that's what, in the end, a lot of marketing is. It's a story that disturbs and intrigues. If you just disturb someone, you leave them agitated. But if you disturb someone with realizing, hey, man, I might have a problem, or I might be a little off here, but intrigue them with there's another side to this, then we can help you with that. I've always loved that story and creating that story. So anyway, that's kind of the long and short of it. And then I guess a couple years ago, I met RA Marketing at an FMO event that my wife was attending, a recruiting event. Right. And I saw Richie and Andrew speak and just talk about not just their marketing company, but about themselves. Yeah. And this is interesting because they told a story about themselves, and both of their stories I identified with. And I just kind of saw these guys talking, being vulnerable, being human, talking about who they are in real life, not just about how great RA Marketing is. And there's a lot to say on that. Yeah. But they spent most of the time telling about themselves. And I was like, that's my tribe. I knew it. I could feel it. Those are my people. And so anyway, we talked for about a year. And about a year ago, I joined RA Marketing and have just loved it ever since.
That's great. What a great story, man. We have a whole nother podcast to do just around what you just shared about Rich and Andrew in the vulnerability, sharing themselves and how that bonded with you. Yeah. That our audience really needs to understand, because that's what people, one of my marketing philosophies is people buy you more than what you do. Yeah. And you just nailed it with that. So we'll do that another time. Today, we want to talk about what y'all have just really mastered at RA Marketing is helping you work, if I'm right, specifically with financial advisors. And you help them with not lead generation, but actually getting appointments through workshops and seminars and webinars, things of that nature. Is that right?
Yeah, that is 100% right. And we can do lead generation, and frankly, there are people who do it better than us, but that's only because we treat it like the redheaded stepchild. And don't take offense. I got red in my beard. It's okay. Because we have always valued. Now, keep in mind, Richie and Andrew are producers and advisors in the insurance and the financial services world. Right. They are the end user of what that's what Richie and Andrew, RA Marketing does. They are the end user. And we have always believed that it's much more worth your time to meet with people who have already agreed to meet with you. Yes. On some level. And so, we can create a list of, 70, 100 leads, and you can spend your time emailing and calling, or having an assistant do it, or until the phone breaks. And I know that there are people out there who are cut from that cloth, but that is just not us. And so we have developed incredible marketing systems around events, around seminars, whether it's a dinner seminar or the educational workshop or an experience type of event where you're going to the speedway, where you're doing this at a classic car museum, where you're doing candle making or bouquet arranging. We've done all those kinds of events as well, but those are the in-person things, right? And you're sharing the same air and you're, pressing the flesh a little bit. And that we teach people how to not only, well, we get the butts in the seats, we do the marketing, but we also teach and coach on the other side of that how to set appointments at those events. So again, you just don't walk away with a bunch of yes, call me, because that is a lead.
Right.
The same thing is true on webinars. And we love webinars because there's a lot of automation to them. I mean, we can really get into that, and you can really just have it on autopilot as a wonderful complement to existing marketing strategies that you might already be doing. But a webinar is still, the way that we run them is we integrate a calendar link, your calendar link, directly into that webinar, have all these calls to action at strategic places to, once again, drive for the appointment. You end that webinar or you end that seminar with a bunch of registrations, people who have registered who didn't come, or registered and came but didn't set a visit. Yes, those are leads. Yes, they should be followed up with. But why don't we spend our time with 7 or 8 people who said, you know what, I'm going to pick a date and time, and they go and pick a date and time on your calendar and set it themselves. And let's spend our time with those people who have actually raised their hand and said, Mike, I like you. Let me come sit down with you for a minute and have a real conversation.
Yeah. I love that. I love, and so marketing tip, for those who are listening, did you hear what he just said? Rewind this thing about 3 minutes and re-listen. They integrate the appointment link in the webinar presentation versus let's hold everything till the very end and then give you the one opportunity to schedule. It's like, that is just so brilliant to give people an opportunity to schedule sooner. Maybe they're ready to schedule now and then they've got to go do it. Great.
Yeah.
But that is just a brilliant piece of marketing right there that I hope everybody heard. So let's talk about this, and it's the bane of my existence. I know it's the bane of yours existence. When you find an advisor or any client who says, "I just need more leads," and the reality is, no, you don't. Yeah, we all need leads, but you need to do a better job of converting those leads into an appointment, a real live appointment, right?
Yeah, and again, there is the advisor or rep out there who maybe cut their teeth at a wirehouse where they were literally given a phone book. And I know a lot of people don't even know what that is anymore. For us, it's a doorstop on a hot, windy day. But who are literally trained to just pound the phone. And then you have a lot of people in Medicare too, frankly, who are used to getting a list. They get their T65 list, everyone who's turning 65 this year, and they literally go door knock or pound the phone until it breaks. So there are people that thrive on that. Yeah. I would just again challenge you about what's a better use of your time, and what are you trying to do anyway by calling all those people, by knocking on those doors? What are you trying to do? You're trying to get an appointment to talk to them about how you can help them and bless them in their lives. Right. Well, why don't we just cut to the chase? Yep. So we believe that your marketing dollars are better spent. We believe your time is better spent by engaging in activities that can provide good, genuine appointments. People who, again, have raised their hand and said, I do want to have a conversation with you. I'm liking what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. I'm identifying with you. I think we can do something together. At the very least, they want to have a genuine conversation.
Right. And the thing that I love about this is you're inviting them in. They're raising their hand. They're taking the ticket. They're coming to your event, webinar, in person, whatever it is. Now, granted, if 20 people come, odds are 20 people aren't buying today. 20 people aren't setting the appointment. That is where I think the follow-up needs to happen. You're going to meet with 8 or 10, but you need to stay in touch with the other 8 or 10 because they're interested. They're just not ready today. Do you find that?
Yeah, a lot of times it's not a no, it's a not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big difference. And I'll tell you, we do not do drip marketing because we're event marketing. We don't do it. But should you do it? Should you have a system in place, some vendor or some good program or some tech that helps you with your drip? Absolutely. Are you missing opportunities and deals? Especially if you can automate the thing to take as little effort from you as possible and yet be effective. I mean, yeah, you're missing deals if you're not doing that. For a lot of people, and I hate to say this, but a lot of people, their drip marketing is, let's just go do another seminar. Let's just go do another webinar and take what? Take the low hanging fruit. And I am imploring you to do that.
Yeah.
Let us set appointments. Let us help you with activities that generate appointments for you. And that we do that through event marketing, but can that also happen through a good drip campaign, something that keeps people top of mind so that when they're in market, when they really are looking for a specific solution, you're definitely at the top of mind. Yeah, that should happen. And you're going to have a big database. One thing I love, database of people who said not yet. But one thing I do love about webinars, for example, is you can easily, as we are filling that with new blood, right? New prospects, new people. A lot of advisors take their database of 4 or 5 or 10,000 names, right? Some people doing this more than a decade. You're going to have 8 to 10,000 at least names in that database. If you've been doing some marketing of any kind, invite them to that webinar, invite them to that seminar, do some email blasts. That's the simplest thing. But I would still contend that one of the best ways to do drip marketing is get them to an event. And we have all the here's the top ways to save on car insurance, and all those articles go out. Here's the top ways to fund college, and all those articles go out. That's cool. It's okay. But why don't we spend some time getting that database to a new event where you can really hold their attention and make a case for, hey, you really do want to visit with me again.
And event marketing is so important because I think it gives you the time to build a relationship.
Time required. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And the more time somebody gives you, the more likely it is that they're going to give you their money because they've connected with you. They may come to the event and say, yeah, I really don't like that guy at all and bail. And that's okay. But odds are they're going to sit there for an hour with you or an hour and a half or whatever. They're going to get to know you. They're going to like you. They're going to say, you know what? Yeah, we probably should talk about this because we're really confused about all this stuff.
Yeah, it's rare that a no is a heck no, not ever in a million years. It's most, there are those,
right?
But most no's are really not yet,
right?
And that's important. There's a key distinction.
It really is. And the no, not yet. That could be the name of your guys' next book. No, not yet. So talk about some of the dare I say, success factors that you guys have in the marketing that you do that have helped you to become so successful in getting butts in seats, right? Getting people to attend these events because it's a struggle for business owners.
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing about us is we are a digital marketing agency, and I contrast that favorably with a direct mail approach. Sure. We purposefully do not engage in that. And it's not that it can't work. It can work. And it does for a lot of people. But the reason and one of the main impetuses behind the success I think we have, that we have chosen, digital marketing and social media platforms as our medium, is that we get real live response. We get real time feedback on what's working and what isn't. And so by, again, if you sent out a postcard or a mailer and it just so happens not to hit for whatever reason, it's over for that campaign. It's over. By contrast, we see, like on Facebook or other social media platforms, we see what's working every minute, every hour. We are looking at it. And what is not working, we're changing and altering and trying again. What is working, we're duplicating and doubling down on that.
Yeah.
See, and so we can turn a campaign that's struggling, we can turn that around to being amazing. And we can take a campaign that's already pretty good and pour just rocket fuel on that and have it really, really do something.
Yeah.
All campaigns hit a point where they struggle here and there. They all do. But digital marketing allows us to be so nimble and so responsive that we can just really, really attack and double down on the good things.
Yeah. And that's important. The other thing, the other success element I think you guys have going for you is you've done this for a couple of people over the last few years, right? You've hundreds and hundreds of case studies and of examples and of
Yeah.
reps. You work out a lot and you drum a lot. So you've got to have reps to make it work better. So talk a little bit about just the reps that are behind RA marketing.
Yeah, so thank you for that, because that's actually a really important point that I have to talk to advisors about all day long. But we have done more than 5,000 campaigns. We have created more than 230,000 registrations for the events that we have marketed for. We have helped advisors move. I'm not saying sit in front of, but move more than 1 billion in assets. And I guess I could just say that and shut up.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that is our pedigree. So when we tell you something that in general this tends to work, are there exceptions? Yes. Don't bet on being an exception. And that's a good point, right? In marketing and in everything in business, don't bet on being the exception to the rule. You're going to waste a lot of money on fire and have a lot of struggles and frustration from that. So we have some best practices that we help people with if they're doing a seminar or webinar, things that we have seen just absolutely amazing advisors and agents do that work. We've also seen a lot of what doesn't work. And yet still at some point, especially with new relationships, they tend to fight us sometimes a little bit and say, well, you don't know my area. Okay, that's fair. And or you don't understand the dynamic here, or just some kind of fight. And we say, okay, this is against what we're telling you to do. If you really want to do it, we will give it our best shot. But just know we're telling you, this usually doesn't work out too well. And if it doesn't work out too well, we often have them come back and say, well, I really thought it would do well, ma'am. We were with you and we had our fingers crossed. How about we do it the way that we know works? How about that? And they say, okay. And, now they're willing,
Exactly.
But I would just tell you, listen, like, trust the experience, walk the path that we've tread.
Yeah. And because the numbers don't lie. And that's the other thing I really like and appreciated about RA marketing through the time that I've known, because I've known Richie longer than I've known you, but you guys have the same DNA, is that it's really about results. It's about getting results for your client, which is that financial advisor, so they can get more results. And it's much better, you and I both agree with this, and that it's much better to get 8 appointments than 100 leads.
Absolutely.
And
where do you want to spend your time? And where can you be most effective and do the most good? See, this is in our DNA. And that was a good way to say it, not just because Richie and Andrew and I all have a beard, but I mean, they're advisors. My wife's an advisor. Our lead digital marketer is a licensed agent. This is in our blood. And we have a conviction about the good that a hardworking, honest, and earnest financial advisor or insurance agent can do for people. We have seen it. We've all seen it in our lives, and we know the benefit of that. And so we are passionate about helping. We always say we want you to win, right? Speaking to the financial advisor, et cetera. We want you to win because we know what that means for the people you're helping, by and large. Right. No, I just absolutely, we believe this in our bones, that 99% of the people out there are absolutely doing their best and trying to do what's in their client's best interest. And so we want to help make that happen.
Absolutely. And you guys do it. You guys do a great job of it, brother. We could go on and on and on and on. But I think at the end of the day, what we want to share with the audience, especially if you're a financial advisor, is you need to focus on appointments more than just leads. And RA marketing can help you do that with their event-based marketing systems, whether you're doing webinars, in-person events. I love the experiences that you were talking about. There's something that a lot of people need to talk to you about. Just how would I do that? Because that's a whole different thing, but it's really powerful. So Keith, man, how do people, how would a financial advisor get a hold of you, find out more about RA marketing?
Well, I'd say, I think I got my dog walking in the background right here. Sorry.
That's all right.
What's up, girl? I would tell you, go radigital.com. That's our website, go radigital.com. You can just fill out an info request there. You can get a hold of me directly at my phone number. And I think, maybe we'll put this up, but it's 720-547-6239. and, happy to chat and explore what we can do. We're always looking for new challenges, new opportunities. We're never satisfied with where we are. And so every campaign we get a little bit better.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Keith. I appreciate the heart that you bring, that Rich and Andrew bring to the table, because you really are out to help people and provide a service in an area that is just a rat maze, man. It is just all over, and you don't know who to trust. And I'm here to vouch for RA Digital that you guys are just you're real people that are doing great work. So thanks for
I appreciate that, Michael, and thank you for making this possible. That's a good thing you're doing in life, man.
Thanks, brother. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to Experts Speak. Tune in again next week for another fantastic episode. Take care. God bless.